All right, Jack. So before we get to the other five picks in this Rule 5, and actually a couple arms I'm really excited about that I thought were some nice steals, let's talk about some arms that could be nice pickups in Bowman 2023 draft. And we talked about it on the open. No one likes to collect pitcher cards, but then all of a sudden you start to see like people get excited about them, and like it's like a guilty pleasure almost. And I think that pitcher cards are going to start to come back a little bit because of how much faster these college players are climbing, how exciting some of these guys are, and how much faster they're just climbing through the minor leagues. You see them a little bit quicker, they get to the show a little bit quicker, and I think that makes it a little bit more exciting to be able to go collect some of these cards of guys that can probably get to the show quicker than the bats, which is a big part of collecting these prospect cards, especially when it's draft and the draft just happened. So you and I are going to go back and forth real quick. We're going to do a very quick snake draft. Obviously, whoever gets the number one pick is going to have it. We're going to do it where it wraps back around and you get back-to-back picks because that'll make it more fun. And we'll see who has the best rotation. We'll go five each, see who puts together the most exciting rotation. Again, it's probably going to be whoever has pick number one, but we'll try our best to make it close. Yep. There's some fun autos in this, Jack. Like everyone's talking about, everyone's chasing, the top hitters. You got the Langfords and you've got so many other guys that we've talked about in previous episodes. You've got the Tom Brady, and there's some special inscriptions on that Tom Brady Expos card that I know has a massive bounty on it, and people are going to be going after that, it's a really cool thing to have a Tom Brady autograph in this set. I often forget that he was drafted to play baseball, and of course, we're getting reminded by it. But at the same time, it is a really cool aspect of what they're doing, and it's going to be fun to see people chasing after that. But not everyone's going to pull the Wyatt Langfords and the Tom Bradys. And if you pull a pitcher, I want to let you know that it might be good news. So here are some of the names that might be good news. Jack, I'll give you the first pick.
No, we can't do that. Like, this is the Pat Ewing Knicks lottery. This is what's going on, or the LeBron 2003 NBA draft thing.
All right,
so
I'll take
I'm going to ask
one.
Siri, pick odds or evens. I'm going to ask her for a number between 1 through 10.
Even.
Okay, so if it's even, you get Skeens. If it's odd, I get Skeens. Hey, Siri, pick a number 1 through 10.
It's going to be 8, by the way.
It's 10.
Let's go. All right. Paul Skeens is a I don't even know what my team would be called, but welcome to the squad, Paul Skeens. Welcome to the good guys.
How about that?
I'll give you back-to-back picks here.
Okay. I want Hurston Waldrep, the right-hander out of Florida that has flown through the Braves organization. He ended the year in AAA. Yeah. Does he crack the opening day roster?
Anthopoulos alluded to it, right? You mentioned that on the show.
He did. Yeah. I think I retweeted that, but Alex Anthopoulos, he pretty much said like, he's going to have a shot. Like you're going to see him in 2024. That's what he said. And then Bochy said about Wyatt Langford, we're going into spring training with a competition, which is sick.
And this is why Bowman draft, like I think it's as exciting of a time as ever to be collecting these guys because they're getting there so quick.
100%. So I go Waldrep. I think that splitter gets outs 2 times through the order right now.
On a world champion contender every year.
Yeah, exactly. So I go there. I'm not going to go too crazy here. I'll double up with Noble Meyer, right-hander, high school right-hander from the Marlins. I was thinking about getting edgy and unique and underground indie alt music, but I decided not to. Noble Meyer, like, he is skin and bone, and yet he throws 97, 98. So give me some muscle on him. The Marlins know how to develop pitching, especially from a very young age. And I think Noble Meyer can turn into an excellent pitcher. So you went Skeens. I went Waldrep with Atlanta and Noble Meyer with Miami.
Yeah. And I realized I didn't even talk much about the Skeens pick. Obviously, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah, 100 with one of the best sliders in baseball already.
Yeah, and they're not going to waste like any bullets there at all. In the
I don't know, man. Let's see him in Indianapolis for a little bit.
He's going to be, I think he's going to get, yeah, I want you to see him in Indy, but I think after a few starts, it's see ya. He's gone. And I think that part of it is great because you're going to get a guy that's going to be, he could be a rookie of the year contender this year if he gets up quick enough. And I think the Pirates might be looking at that prospect incentive, the player pick incentive if you get your guy up early. I doubt they look at it, that way, but ultimately they could, and that could be something that gets him up there a little bit quicker too. But Skeens is the one guy that I think you're collecting, not just you, I think anyone, with how dynamic and exciting the arm is and just, how popular he is. That's a guy you're taking over a lot of bats, I think, even with the stigma of arms in the hobby. But Swinging it back around to me, there's
Yes.
actually a few different names I really like in here. And, by the way, Noble Meyer, no brainer pick. I think obviously Waldrop's, you got the balance of college and high school. Meyer is really, really, really like talented, obviously. And the Marlins, perfect landing spot for him. But did you know his parents are both civil engineers? And so his interest in pitching, like, kind of helped. They kind of started to dive into like pitch shapes and things like that. And so he's a data darling for like multiple reasons because like, he's way ahead of his time. And they've been like honed in on pitch shape since he was maybe going into high school. So it's cool from that aspect too. Like he's a nerd, like he is a junkie. And I love the ability to maximize your arsenal when you already throw upper 90s and have that kind of stuff. So swinging it back to me, I'm gonna go Ty Floyd here. Floyd just I feel like he was one of my favorite. We talked about it in the drafts. He was one of my favorite underrated arms in terms of just somebody that I felt like the data was better than maybe people were giving him credit for because I think they were looking at a lot of the surface level stuff. But the Reds, I thought, did really well to snag this kid out of LSU. And we talk about some really good stretches. Ty Floyd on his final two starts of his collegiate career against Wake Forest and Florida, he punched out 27 in 13 innings against those two lineups. A Florida lineup, now we know how loaded it was, 17 punchies in that outing. Um, it's a fastball that's low release, 20 plus inches of vert. It's going to play immediately. So it's got that like Bryce Miller type of, I think, helium in terms of the way that he can maybe fly through the minors quickly. And then the slider's good if he can command it consistently. And then he's trying to find that third pitch. But again, when you have that kind of fastball and he fills up the zone the way he does with that kind of shape,
Yeah.
I think he can kind of have that Bryce Miller, Brian Wu type of minor league ascension because he is a very similar profile to them. And in a red system, that there's probably not that many guys in his way.
Yep, for sure. I like it.
Back to you, or do I make two?
You make two.
All right, I'm going Charlie Soto. Just going to go
Yes.
pure upside. Soto, Twins pick. Just crazy athlete, 6'4". He was a switch hitter when, on the position player side of things. He's a lot more raw, I think, than Noble Meyer. And I think that's why Meyer was kind of ahead of him. But the fastball is absolutely electric. It jumps out of his hand from that 6'4", like long extension, kind of release point. He's just turned 18 years old. I think there's a potential for wipeout breaking ball. He's athletic for his size. I mean, this is just the second best prep arm, and he's a big power dude. So I think Soto's a guy I'm definitely going to be excited to pull and hold if I get him. And again, another system where you could see him kind of moving up quickly if he shows out well.
Yep. All right. So you have three right now. I have two. So you have Skeens, Ty Floyd, Charlie Soto. Skeens with the Pirates, Ty Floyd with the Reds, Charlie Soto with the Twins. I've got Meyer with the Marlins and Waldrop with the Braves. So I'll pick two more, then you pick two more, then I pick my last.
Okay.
I am going kind of like down the board a little bit. First pick's going to be Alex Clemmie, who was a Rhode Island left-hander who was taken by the Guardians this year. It was either end of the first round or beginning of the second round. And Clemmie, Bishop Hendricken in Rhode Island, lank machine, like 6'6", 200 pounds, up to 99 with the fastball, and has this slurve to boot. And we were watching some video before we hopped on the recording. It is weird. Like he is drop and drive as Slender Man. It's bizarre. And he's the closest thing that I think the Guardians have to a McKenzie, and we know how the Guardians develop pitching.
Yeah, I think anytime I pull a Guardians pitcher, I'm thinking twice about letting that card go. And you talk about the way he drops low and just pushes from that low, like sink in the hip, Imanaga-esque, but he's six what? He's long and lanky,
6'6",
6'3",
yeah.
6'6". Jeez, fastball's nasty. I like that pick a lot. Big upside there.
Okay, so Clemmie, now I go Teddy McGraw in
I knew
Seattle.
you were going to do
McGraw's
that.
coming off of Tommy John. Here's my reasoning. Who do we laud as pitching developers? There's almost like a big three, right? Tampa, Cleveland, and the Dodgers. We got to add the Seattle Mariners to this because
Yeah.
everything they've touched as of late turns to gold. Gilbert, Kirby, Hancock, Miller, Wu, like Taylor Dollard had a 2 ERA before he got hurt. Like everybody is good right now.
Yeah.
Teddy McGraw, the consensus, I think, in the industry was before he went down and had TJ, I think it might have been an internal brace procedure done.
Yeah.
Like he was as electric as Rhett Lauder is, and it's a sinker. I like a sinker in Seattle, man.
Yeah.
I'm for it. So this is a guy that can run it into the mid 90s or high 90s. Really, he can flirt with the high 90s. Give me Teddy McGraw, hoping he's healthy off this
Big
injury.
upside. Another big upside one. And I mean, yeah, if he's healthy, I think he could have been one of the earlier guys that we saw selected. So I'm with you. I like that a lot.
Yep.
Back around to me.
Back around to you too.
I'm going Wake Forest again. We're gonna go Sean Sullivan. I talked about how much I like the arm when we did the Rocky system. It's outlier, extension, fastball release height, just crazy jump. Enough for me to be excited enough to put him as the number 10 prospect in the Rocky system already. He can dominate with that fastball. I think if it doesn't even work out as a starter, he could be an elite high leverage guy, potentially even a closer with that fastball. But the sweeper off, that's gross. I think Sullivan is I think he's going to be a really tough guy to hit. It's just about whether the command is there, and maybe a third pitch to be someone that can go 5-6 innings. But I know there's a big league arm in there, and I think he could be a wipeout type of pitcher with heavy fastball usage from that low release, high carry, and great extension kind of just profile. I don't think there's many better than that. And then I'm going to go with another just physical freak. We're going just I could play my guys could be a basketball team. Jackson Wiggins, 6'7", just an electric arm too. Cubs, right? The Cubs go out and snag him. They had to go. Would they go over swap for him?
I think so.
6'7" arm. Commands a little bit of the question. Walked 14% of batters through the course of the entire season last year. Worked a little bit more out of the bullpen towards the end of the season. But the Cubs, another one. They're starting to develop pitching. Breslow, I know he's gone, but kind of the infrastructure that he put in there, I think really helped them. Wiggins can, run it up to upper 90s. I think he's flirted with triple digits. We haven't seen him throw, because he's recovering from injury last year. So I'm interested to see how he comes back. But with potentially triple digits fastball, nasty slider, and a changeup that he's mixed in with some decent success in the past, Wiggins could be a big time exciting arm.
I'm going floor. I'm lacking a little sex appeal with my final pick. Joe Whitman, left-hander for San Francisco. Whitman's my guy. I've got some bias because I called, I think, his second to last college start. But Whitman, what I saw was a guy that can pound the strike zone with low to mid 90 stuff. I assume low 90s will turn into mid 90s, just being in professional baseball and not having to go to Astronomy 104 on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 3 in the afternoon. I saw a slider that was really good left on left, and he can spot it well enough against righties. And I saw a changeup that was probably better than advertised in spurts. So a 3-pitch mix in a rotation that is going to need some help. There really aren't too many people blocking him in that system. I think Whitman can climb quickly if he looks like that high floor arm, and I think he can be a Giants like 4, 5, or 4. We'll see.
It's fun arm.
Yeah.
Is that it? You have one
That's
more?
it.
That's it. All right. What you want to wrap up all the picks? It was
So you went Paul Skeens with the Pirates, Ty Floyd with the Reds, Charlie Soto with the Twins, Sean Sullivan with the Rockies, and Jackson Wiggins with the Cubs. I went Noble Meyer with the Marlins, or Waldrop was my first pick. Waldrop with the Braves, Noble Meyer with the Marlins. Then I went Alex Clemmy with the Guardians, Teddy McGraw with the Mariners, and Joe Whitman with the Giants.
those are 2 good rotations, man. And that's just in Bowman draft. And those are both like really fun rotations. So I love that.
Yep.
Also, something I just remembered, we got to talk about the Juan Soto trade in the next episode. I promise you we will break down that whole return next week when we have, probably some more trades going down and all that good stuff. But very excited to talk about those guys. We've already talked about them plenty on this show. So you can go back and probably find so many episodes where we talk about those guys.